Hello friends and welcome back to blah 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 blah. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the last of the main open chords. These four chords, along with the ones we've learned in the last few videos, are the most common open chords we'll encounter on the guitar. And thankfully a lot of today's chords are very similar to ones we've already learned. We'll start with E major as it's exactly the same as the E minor we've already learned, just with one added finger. Take your first finger and place it on the first fret of the third string, G. It should sound like this. Now take your second finger and place it on the second fret of the fifth string, A. It should sound like this. Finally, take your third finger and place it on the second fret of the fourth string, D. It should sound like this. Play all 6 strings together and you have your first E major. Good job. You'll notice that E major is actually the exact same as E minor, only with the addition of one finger on the first fret, which makes it super easy to transition from one to the other. If you've really been paying attention, you'll also notice that the shape of an E major is identical to the shape of an A minor, only with all the fingers moved up one string. This means that it's another combination that's very easy to move between. In fact, A minor to E major is all you need to know to play the iconic intro to The Importance of Being Idle by Oasis. Speaking of A minor, next we'll take a look at A major, as its shape is almost identical to its minor cousin. Take your third finger and place it on the second fret of the second string, B. It should sound like this. Now take your second finger and place it on the second fret of the third string, G. It should sound like this. Lastly, take your first finger and place it on the second fret of the fourth string, D. It should sound like this. Strum the bottom 5 strings and you have your first A major. Well done. As you can see, the only difference between A minor and A major is the placement of your finger on the B string. It's a good idea to practice switching between A minor and A major, as it's not too difficult and it will help you develop a bit more dexterity and control in your first 3 fingers. Speaking of practicing switching between major and minor, we'll look at D major next, as it's an easy chord, but its major and minor shapes are a bit more different from one another than they are for A and E. Take your second finger and place it on the second fret of the first string, E. It should sound like this. Now take your third finger and place it on the third fret of the second string, B. It should sound like this. Finally, take your first finger and place it on the second fret of the third string, G. It should sound like this. Strum the bottom 4 strings and you'll have your first D major. Well done. D major and minor are a bit more difficult to switch between than, say, for A or E major and minor, but precisely because of this it's a good idea to practice switching between the two, as it will help you get more control over your fingers while you practice. Lastly, we'll take a look at F major. Now the correct way to play an F major is as a bar chord, which is where you hold down all 6 strings of the guitar with one finger and then form the chord shape with your remaining 3 fingers. To beginner players, bar chords are very intimidating and understandably so. It's difficult to have enough grip to hold down all 6 strings with one finger and have the strings ring out clearly. And what's more, having to forward the chord shape with your other 3 fingers can feel impossible, especially when you're bringing into account your little finger.
Chaos is a ladder.
Thankfully, there is a little cheat we can use to make things easier for beginners. Even better, this F light is very similar in shape to C major that we learned in one of the previous videos. So if you've been practicing that, you should have no problem getting your head around F major. Take your first finger and place it across the first fret of both the first and second strings, E and B. It should sound like this. Now take your second finger and place it on the second fret of the third string, G. It should sound like this. Lastly, take your third finger and place it on the third fret of the fourth string, D. It should sound like this. Now strum the bottom 4 strings for your first F major. If you can't manage to hold down the bottom two strings with one finger, don't worry. With a bit of practice, you will get there. In the meantime, you can just hold down the second string, B. Technically, this is an F major 7, but it'll do while you practice the proper F major. You'll also notice that this shape is almost identical to the C major we learned in a previous video, only with your second and third fingers moved down a string. Now with these open chords and all the ones we've learned in the previous videos, you have what you need to start strumming along with almost any popular song you can think of. The next step we'll be learning bar chords so that we can play along with even more songs. But before that, we'll take a look at some riffs, scales, and how to read tab. That does it for this video though. As always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThomFoxMusic if you want to get in touch. If you like the video, be sure to like and comment on it to help the channel. Feel free to subscribe if you want to help the channel even more. Until next time, stay safe everybody, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.